Welcome to Introduction to Marketing Training. We are here at the penultimate lesson. We are at lesson 19 and we are specifically focusing on marketing books and legends. So why books and legends in a training program? Why have I decided to include something which I view as very, very important? Well, as you can see in this image here, there is a lot of activity out there. There is so much noise. But the shame of it is that among all that noise, there is a lot of advice as well. And not all advice is good advice. I always smile when I see this saying which says, do not base your decisions on the advice of those who don't have to deal with the results. So what that basically means is people will say, oh, you should be doing this with your business, you should be doing that, you should be doing this with your marketing, you should be doing that. And the only problem with that sometimes is they will not sort of feel the impact if it does not work in the way that you, the people who you are responsible for, including employees and family, will. So this is why it's so very important. So therefore you've got to pick and choose, and more than anything else you've just got to learn how to be very selective. Okay, it's your hearing, be selective, as this saying says. So what we've done here, I have put together some recommended resources, and specifically some principles and strategy is covered in these resources that will put you in the top 10%. Now, let me explain something, okay? When I say put you in the top 10%, I'm not talking about in your industry. I'm talking about in total of all marketers out there, because the long and short of it is, you'd be so surprised how few marketers and advertisers and even less entrepreneurs actually study all of this. So, what are our resources? Well, they're over here. You can see Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins, 50 Shades of J Abraham, I Love Marketing podcast, The Secret of Selling Everything, and Gary Benzavenga's Bullets, which we had previously spoken about during our copy session. So first, Scientific Advertising. This book was written in 1923. David Ogilvy, the father of modern advertising, said that nobody should be allowed to have anything to do with advertising until they have read Scientific Advertising 7 times. Mr. Ogilvy went on to say it changed the course of his life. Now, the good thing about Scientific Advertising, it's a very quick read. There are not too many pages, and you can also get it online. So all you need to do is just Google Scientific Advertising. What I did was I got the PDF, I printed it out, I bound it, so I sort of walk around with it and scribble notes on it. But Scientific Advertising most definitely will be one of those resources. Next, J. Abraham, very much known as the Billionaire Maker, and he's got a terrific blog which he calls 50 Shades of J. Now, interestingly enough, because of J. Abraham being very holistic, and what I mean by that, he focuses on business, entrepreneurship, marketing as well, personal development. It's just a terrific resource. But as you can see there, shades 1, 2 and 3, so he talks about how to be the most trusted advisor, go-to source and thought leader. The next one is be seen as your most trusted advisor for life, right? And then the third one, he's talking about how his views have changed over the years and how you can apply them to your business. But there's 50 of them. They cover marketing, advertising, sales, all sorts of things, and it is all absolutely totally free. So you see the web address over at the bottom there to go and download and study 50 Shades of J. Next is the I Love Marketing podcast. I like this very much. This is done by Dean Jackson on the left and Joe Polish on the right. And each week they just get on there, or every few weeks, and they talk marketing and they have guests on there. Now, it'll be difficult for you to see, but that blue arrow actually shows that at the time of this recording, They are on show 253, so you can listen to them, you can download the MP3s. Like I said, they have guests, and it really is very, very good. You see the web address at the bottom there. Gary Bencivenga's marketing bullets, which were covered in some detail during our copywriting lesson. I could speak all the time about Gary Bencivenga. However, I did cover it before, so there is the address once again, but it most definitely has a role to play with these resources. As does this, and as it says, the only sales book you'll ever need. It's called The Secrets of Selling Anything. It's by a man called Harry Browne. And because everything we are doing here with the marketing and the advertising and the copywriting, and if we want to in fact build our business and be great entrepreneurs and very successful, we need to know and feel comfortable about selling. But this really is a book with a difference, because it's a very well written book. It was actually designed for people who are uncomfortable about selling. It covers a lot of the mindsets and the psychology. It really is a terrific read, and it is free. All you need to do is just Google Harry Browne, The Secret of Selling Anything, and you'll find some PDFs online. So these are the 5 things I would like you to go deep with. Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins, 50 Shades of Jay by Jay Abraham, I Love Marketing, Joe Polish and Dean Jackson, Gary Bencivenga's Marketing Bullets, and the book by Harry Browne, The Secret of Selling Anything. And best of all, every one of these 5 are free, and this is why I deliberately did this. You see, if I was asked to choose 5 resources for you and 5 people who could really help you with your marketing, there are a lot more than 5. However, these 5 resources I've given you are so comprehensive. It's almost like a start to finish training, information, and best of all, it will not cost you anything. However, I am going to say that there's a couple more that I wanted to add, just if you end up being on a bit of a roll here. And they are Ted Nicholas's e-zine and John Benson of the Video Sales Letter fame. So Ted Nicholas, this is a really, really interesting one. I have heard about Ted Nicholas for some years, studied a little bit of his work. I did not realize at the time that he had owned 23 of his own businesses. So clearly what he did was he became great at marketing and sales, teaching, as a result of what he had demonstrated with his own business. You can go to tednicholas.com and you'll see the Success Margin Archives. The layout is very similar to Gary Bencivenga's Bullets, and it's just a very, very comprehensive blog that I will recommend to anybody. And then there is John Benson, and the reason why I've added him here, John Benson is famous for creating the Video Sales Letter, where you just see writing on a screen and a voice-over reading it. But he is also one of the very best when it comes to psychology, persuasion, and human behavior. And a couple of years ago, he did a 10-day hangout-a-thon. Yes, I know, hangout-a-thon. So you would go to the Sellerator YouTube channel, and you literally see 10 lessons via video. They're all between an hour to an hour and a half, very, very deep when it comes to the psychology and the persuasion and the human behavior. But it comes with my full recommendation, and once again, like all the other resources, totally free. So, when we summarize our magnificent 7, Scientific Advertising, 50 Shades of Jay, I Love Marketing, Gary Bencivenga's Bullets, Harry Browne's The Secret of Selling Anything, the Ted Nicholas e-zine, and John Benson's 10-day Sellerator Hangout-a-thon. And yes, best of all, each one of these are free. So please study these resources, and as the image says here, go deep. Some things just aren't possible in the shallows. Now the reason I make a point of that is that I know of many people who prefer to read many, many books over a period of a month, 6 months, a year. I would rather see you read the same books over and over and over again, particularly the ones that I have suggested. And also go deep within. Make sure that, in your own mind, in addition to reading about all the principles and strategies about selling and marketing and advertising, go deep with yourself as far as that personal development to have that right mindset in order to really take advantage of what I've presented to you. And coming up next, we are there, lesson 20, where we will just have a course review and we will discuss your next steps. You have done so well. I'm incredibly proud that you followed. I really want you to take advantage of these free resources on this page lesson that we've left for you. And then it's just left for us just to go over the things one final time very quickly and discuss your next steps. So we'll see you in lesson 20.